Hey, what's up everyone? Happy Friday. Today we'll be talking about technical SEO, image SEO. Don't forget to visit our sponsor, hrefs.com/AWT. Today's guest, Olga Zarr. Happy Friday, y'all. See you guys coming in. I just want you guys to remind you guys that if you guys want a free t-shirt from Ahrefs, a free mug, or a notebook, and some stickers, be sure to count how many times this logo pops up. That's one. Be sure to count how many times this logo comes up. That's two. And you'll win a prize from Ahrefs, the gift package. That includes the t-shirt and mug and notebook. All right? Don't be shy, guys. Be sure to say hi in the live chat. Today's topics is technical SEO, image SEO, with our guest today, Olga Zarr. Don't forget to visit our sponsor, hrefs.com/AWT. How's everyone doing out there? I see a bunch of you coming in. Ray, what's up, my man? Welcome to the show. Andrew, what's up? Ernesto, how's it going? All right, guys, we got about 6 minutes to go. Today we'll be talking about technical SEO, image SEO, and about more stuff in this SEO in 2022 book. Our contributing author, Olga, is our guest today. So we'll talk about what's going on in this book. All right, I see Olga dialing in. Olga, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Cool, I can hear you too, but I can't see you.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I'm working on that.
All right. Welcome, Olga. Don't be shy, guys. Say hi in the live chat. All right.
I think you should be able to see me now.
Yeah, I can see you. Looking good. Love it, and I can hear you. All right. That's a new mic. That's the same mic I got.
Yes, I noticed.
Oh, yeah. Anastasia says, hi, Olga.
Hi, Anastasia.
All right, guys. So, Olga, you know, you've seen a couple episodes of the show, right? So I'm going to go over a few videos in the beginning, and then I will go into introduce you like about 8 minutes in, and we should be ready to go. And there's already people chatting in the live chat. We have Lucas Zaborski. Hi, Dre. Hi, Olga. So if you log into the YouTube and the live chat, just make sure that the volume's down or muted on there so we don't get a feedback if you go on there and talk, if you want to chat with everyone on there. Stefan, happy Friday. All right, guys, we got about 4 more minutes to go. Everyone's piling in. I see Nico. What's up, my man? Man, Olga, you're bringing them all out. Love it. All right, guys.
Great.
So guys, today we'll be talking about technical SEO, image SEO. We'll be talking about things in the SEO in 2022 book. A lot of good things we're going to be talking about today. Don't forget to visit our sponsor, hrefs.com/AWT. Come on, guys, bob your head. I see Olga getting down. Oh, yeah. Love it, guys. Come on, I see a bunch of you guys out there. Don't be shy. Say hi. And if you're on Twitter, don't forget to share this. If you're on Facebook, share it. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. I was trying to get live on Twitter, but for some reason my connection's going off. So for now, it's just YouTube and Facebook. But if you're on Facebook, if you want to be in the live chats, go to the YouTube channel. All right, guys, we got 3 more minutes to go. Today's topics will be technical SEO, image SEO, SEO in 2022. And don't forget to visit our sponsors, href.com/AWT. And if you guys are in the United States and want this book, send me your address. But first, you got to tell me, what page is Olga on? What page does her contribution start from the book? You'll get a free copy. Everyone, let me know.
That's a really nice book.
Oh,
I
yeah.
recommend it.
Yes, everyone. This book is off the hook. If you haven't had a copy, if you're in the US, I'll send you a copy. Just email me your mailing address, dre@seo.video. dre@seo.video. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, I know for a few guys won. Stefan, you want a gift package? For those that want a gift package from hrefs.com, get a t-shirt, stickers, a mug, all this cool stuff. Make sure you count how many times this logo pops up. That's the 3rd time right now it popped up. So if you guys weren't here earlier, be sure to count that. So that's the 3rd time. All right, guys, we got about 1 minute and 30 seconds to go. I got my little buddy here. He keeps on shouting. His name is Santo. Say hi, Santo. Hi, Santo.
And I have my buddy here as well. I will show you my buddy.
Oh, where is he?
This is my buddy.
Oh, a pigeon?
Yeah.
He just hangs out with you?
Yes, he was sleeping on my lap.
Oh, wow.
I just woke him up. Oh, he's angry.
All right, guys, we got less than 1 minute to go. We got our buddies here. Brian, what's up, my man? Hey, Brian, if you don't have the copy of this book, send me your address. I'm gonna send you this book. I know I sent you a few books, but let me know if you have. If you don't got this book yet, just for coming out today, I'll send it to you. All right, guys, we got less than 30 seconds to go. Today's topics will be technical SEO, image SEO, SEO in 2022 with Olga Zarzensna. Did I say that correctly?
Almost.
Say it.
Almost right.
How does it go?
Olga Zarzeczna.
Zarzensna?
Zarzeczna.
Zarzensna.
Yeah.
Zarzensna.
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
All right. We got 6 seconds to go. All right, guys. I'll see you in the inside.
SEO expert, Paul Andre de Vera. Steady dropping knowledge, over 15 years in the game, so he knows all about it. Master the art of SEO, you will be amazed. Time to get your brand off page to on page. Dropping knowledge, legendary for sure. Whether you're just getting started or self-employed entrepreneur. Yeah, let's go. Subscribe to the SEO video show. Hey.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the SEO video show where SEO is alive and fun. My name is Paul Andre Devera, aka Dre, and I curate SEO videos released in the past week into about 1-minute clips. My favorite part of the show is when I get to introduce my guest, and my guest this week is a fellow contributing author of the SEO in 2020 book and founder of SEOSLY.com, Olga Zarzenchna. Okay, before we get started, let's say what's up to everyone in chat. I see Brian, Nico, Stefan, Lucas, Ray, Andrew, Ernesto, Anastasia. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Now let's get on with the show.
This is Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. Why do SEOs love the farmer's market? Lots of organic content.
All right, first with Google. Do keyword meta tags matter for Google search? John Muller lets us know what meta tags can affect your webpage. Let's check it out.
Just to be clear from the start, the answer is still no. We do not use the content of the keyword meta tag in Google search. It's fine, however, for you to use the keywords meta tag if you want to use them for something. It doesn't cause any problems with Google search. It's usually small enough to not change the overall page size, so there's no strong reason to remove them from a page. To find out more about meta tags that we do use in search, we have an article for you in our documentation. Most of the time, you'll be looking at the description meta tag and perhaps the robots meta tag. Technically, the title element is not a meta tag, but it's often treated as one. These are all elements that can have an effect on the search results for your pages. And again, Google search does not use the keywords meta tag. Googlebot won't even notice if you leave tasty cookies there. Sorry.
All right, one use case you can use meta tags is to help with internal search, like internal search queries with your CMS by setting up certain rules. Okay, John mentioned that there are meta titles that affect rankings, and we all know that high CTR also helps. So Ross Simmons gives us a quick tips on headlines. Let's check this one out.
We have to normalize the idea of writing 20, 15, 10 headlines before pressing publish on a piece of content. It's easy to make the mistake of just thinking, oh, I can write this headline and this is the one, this is it, I'm done. Boom, that's it. I've come up with the headline. But when you spend the time mentally to think about the different hooks, the different angles of one individual headline and expanding that to 20 or 15, it gives you the ability to think differently around what's going to be more click-friendly. It's not easy, but it is something that I think more marketers, more creators need to do. Don't just write one headline and call it a day. Write 10, write 15, write 20. Because on that 14th one, you might be able to find a headline that truly changes whether or not that article and that piece is going to take off or fall flat.
Writing 10 headlines can also help give you options to test, right? I mean, you can use software like ClickFlow to set up like meta title testing. All right, let's go on to our next piece of news here. Itamar Blauer just released a new episode of SEO Unplugged with Debbie Chu on data-led content for link building. Let's check this one out.
I would describe it as uncovering new and interesting data points that we can package into like a piece of content and then push that content out there so that people can write about that and link to it. And so if we take a few steps back, like let's say I'm a journalist or a writer, when would I naturally link to something in my article? So for me, that would be when I'm quoting like a research or a statistic. And so I'm using these data points to make my story more credible. And that's kind of where the strategy comes into play. So we're trying to create those interesting data for journalists, writers to cite.
I love using first-party data for case studies or reports, and it's something I can always recommend to my clients. I mean, they're great for backlinks. What do you do when you find a perfect keyword, but keyword has no search volume, according to Google? All right, Elijah Hughes shares her top tip on Rank Ranger this past week. Let's check it out.
I think clients find it quite interesting when I show them the difference between the impressions that you see on Google Search Console versus what the search volumes that Google gives you are. Because there might be a keyword that is really, really niche. that Google was just thinking, I can't be bothered to register search volume for this because it's not that important, in the world where people are searching for black ankle boots 1,000 times a day. But then to be able to show them that actually, in terms of like your website, in terms of, your little corner of the internet, this is actually getting, 500 impressions every month. And when you're maybe making 2 conversions a month, but those 2 conversions are worth 50 grand each, that's where you start to see where the money is.
This has been one of my pet peeves. Just because a tool shows us we have no search volume doesn't make sense for you. Make sure if it does make sense for your business, and fact check it with your Google Search Console. Someone who knows all about Google Search Console is my guest today. But before we get to her, let's hear a word from our sponsor. Are you sick of your competitors outranking you in the search results? Your solution is Ahrefs Webmaster Tools, and it's free $99. This isn't one of your 14-day free trial offers. Instead, it's a super powerful tool that'll do a full website audit for you and keep working for you for free. It'll scan your site and prioritize precisely what you need to fix and improve for your search results. Visit ahrefs.com webmaster-tools for this free tool. Find the link below, and by checking our sponsors, you support this show. Now let's introduce our guest.
Olga got first into SEO in 2012. She's a technical SEO specialist working in both vast brands and small to medium-sized websites. She specializes in doing advanced technical SEO audits, on-site SEO optimization, advanced SEO analysis, etc. She loves sharing SEO processes and sharing her SEO resources to others to help learn from them. She's a contributing author in the SEO 2022 book. Please welcome Olga Zarr.
Olga, welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone. I'm very happy to be here.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, I'm so happy to finally get you on. When I first found out I've actually found out your website first. It was SEOSLY.com. I was looking for, I think, YouTube search parameters, and I actually landed on your site. At first, I'm like, wait a minute, I know the person that wrote this over here. And it's great to get you on the show. You're a fellow contributing author of the SEO in 2020 book, which we'll get into very, very soon. But this is the first question I ask all my SEO professionals that come on. In 1 minute or less, how does Olga get ranking on page 1 of Google?
So I am more of a white hat than black hat. So my process is quite standard. I always start with keyword research, looking for long tail keywords, looking for questions, then diving deep into the search intent of those keywords and checking what's ranking, analyzing the search results, and based on the data I gather, I try to simply create the best piece of content that I can create that answers the questions the users have around that topic. So that's my formula.
Love it. First knowledge bomb of the day. All right. Okay, this is the part where I have to rewind it a little bit. Hold on, rewind. Olga, you have to take us way back in 2012. How did you first get into, even before then, how did you get first into SEO?
So I heard about the idea of making money online and having online business, and I used to create simple websites in Notepad in 1997, 8, okay, something like that. Mm-hmm. And but I had no idea how to monetize it. And then I found a course called Site Build It, which basically teaches you step by step in a very detailed way how to create a site and how to monetize it. And it is all done from the perspective of SEO. They never use SEO there. So I was learning that, I was following that process, creating my site, and I didn't even know that I was learning SEO. But once I followed that process a couple of times and created a few websites, and those websites actually started to make money, and I was able to monetize them, I understood that this is probably something I was looking for, and this is how it all started.
Love it. Okay. So, I mean, like, it was great money. You're making your sites and you started making money. So, like, how did you learn it again? Because you mentioned a resource. What was that resource again? And how did you, like, learn it?
I think now it's called Solo Build It, but then it was called Site Build It. So this was a platform for people who didn't really know HTML, even though I knew it, but they teach you all around how to think about the website in terms of business, how to do keyword research. It all starts with brainstorming profitable topics for your website and doing keyword research. You at some point you even do keyword research for a couple of weeks sometimes. It's all divided into 10 different parts. And for example, the monetization part is so exhaustive. There are so many things. And this is how, for example, before you even create the site, you plan out the monetization, whether you will be able to monetize this site, whether it really makes sense for you to invest your time in creating those resources. These were the times pre-Panda, pre-Penguin. So I was a bit stuffing keywords. I was doing exact anchor text matches, and it was working really nicely. But at some point, it stopped to work that nicely, and I had to grow. I had to develop my knowledge in other directions. But I had already built a relatively nice portfolio, and one of those sites has been bringing me money without even touching it for, I think, 7 years. So
wow. Wow, not touching it and gets you that much money. Love it. I mean, this is great.
Maybe not that much, but it was a steady income year over year. So.
Exactly. I mean, this is great for you guys out there. I mean, I feel that, creating these affiliate websites, which is something I want to get into too. And so you're talking about like affiliate websites, right? It's like is this like ads that are coming in, or is this like
one? The one I'm talking about is more about AdSense. It had Amazon affiliate links there, but the Amazon checks weren't like, it was like, I don't know, 10%, 15% maybe of the income from that one site.
Got it. Okay, so that was back then. Are you still doing affiliate site stuff now, or are you focusing on your consulting business?
To be honest, I am now at the phase of planning on building a huge website, affiliate website, together with my husband. So he's an SEO too. So that's our plan. I have a few small sites, but I am now mostly focused on growing SEOSLY. This is my project, the most important project, because I simply have. It is more rewarding for me to do something that I actually see people helps people, that people actually learn from it. And in the case of affiliate sites, it's sometimes easy to get burned even before you start actually doing a lot of that, unless you are really doing a site about something that you are very, very passionate about.
Yes, I mean, okay, talking about SEOSLY, I mean, or even SEOSLY, it goes either way, right? People call it either one, or is there a correct way to do it? Like, okay, so
I also had problems how to pronounce it, but I went with SEOSLY.
Okay, SEOSLY. Let's go with SEOSLY.com. I mean, it's a great resource. There's a lot of stuff going on there. I mean, what motivated you to create that? I mean, how long has it actually been up? Because I know you started in 2012. Has it been up since then? What are you using to pick up your topics? How long does it take you to write the articles? Is it you writing it? Tell us more about SEOSLY, because there's a lot of great content on there.
Sure. So this is 100% my site, and all of the articles have been written by me. I created it in 2020. I think I published it in August 2020, something like that. So it is relatively late, I would say, because I've been working at the agency for 6-7 years, and I had really a lot of diverse experience with a lot of different huge, smaller sites. And I don't know really why it took me such a long time to finally come up with an idea to create the site about SEO. This is something I am the most passionate about. I was trying to create a lot of different affiliate sites about dieting, about specific diets, about running, everything. But SEO is something that I am the most passionate about. And when I started, when I planned this out and started adding content, I immediately knew that this is what I want to be doing. Well, this is what I want to grow. So that's how it all came to be.
Love it. Okay, so I now want to go back to something that said you have plans. I mean, you don't have to tell us the niche or anything like that, but you said you're going to start working on this huge project, with your husband on this affiliate website. So I want to know, like, what are the steps that you're doing right now? So, like, if someone wants to start this huge project, what are really high level? How'd you find your niche? And what are some steps that you're at, like, to getting this site created?
Sure. So we still want this site to be at least about something that we are interested in. So I can tell you this is going to be around technology, because we are technology geeks. So we chose the specific niche. We made sure that this niche isn't going to be too broad and not too narrow. And the first thing we did was simply, actually, my husband did it. And it is Lucas who commented. So hi, Lucas. So we created. He did a very, very thorough keyword research, which practically lays out the entire structure of the site, all of the posts, all of the categories. We have everything mapped out. And he also came up with a template for specific articles, because there will be roundup reviews, there will be reviews about one specific product. So we have all it planned. We have the template, and now the most difficult part is going to start, when we will actually have to get writers to write that and write it the way we want it to be written.
Love it. So guys, if you catch that was a quick high level on launching a huge affiliate site for you guys and SEOing it. I'm going to rewatch that and listen to that again, because I mean, that's something that I wanted to somewhat get into. But I'm curious, like, with affiliate SEOs, I mean, is that something like, is there anyone that you've been following? Or like, how'd you, like, or on affiliate SEO, is there anything like that? Or is this something that you've just been doing and just kind of already learned it on your own?
So this isn't the area I really specialize in. I am more of an auditor, but I know Doug Cunnington, and he is a lot into affiliate SEO, and I've been reading a lot of his stuff. I listen to his podcast, I watch his videos, and he's my inspiration here.
Love it. Hey guys, Doug will be on the show very soon, and if Olga has a great episode on Doug's show, so be sure to check that one out. But okay, enough about that. Let's get into what we're here for. We're here for technical SEO, image SEO, and to talk about a little bit of what we talk about in this book, the SEO in 2020 book. And you guys, if you guys are here, if you guys are from the United States, or the continental North America, send me your address, dre@seo.video, and I'll send you a copy of this book. And be sure to, and if you guys want other things, just guess what page Olga starts on here. So in this book, let's talk about this book first, since I'm holding it. So you talk about Google Search Console, and everyone should be in Google Search Console, right? So tell us, like, why is it so important to be in Google Search Console first?
Okay, so Google Search Console is basically the first or the second step of my very, very complex and very, very long technical SEO audit process. So before we even start to crawl the site, analyze the data the crawl gives us, it's always, I think, the best thing to do is to simply log into Google Search Console and see what's there, because Google is clearly telling us what Google is seeing there on our site, what Google wants to draw our attention to. So it's always there in GSC, and it is not only about technical stuff like possible technical errors, problems with indexation, but it's also about performance, speed, and the data you have in GSC is more reliable than what you have in, for example, Google Lighthouse, because in GSC the Core Web Vitals report relies on real data, real user data from your own real users. So it's so if you are all green in GSC, it's okay. You don't have to worry if you aren't green in the lab data.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so it's using your own visitors data within Google Search Console. All right, love that. Okay, so what else in Google Search Console that you always use? I mean, what's very important to pay attention to in Google Search Console?
So I always check my visibility in Google Discover. So somehow I had a break with in publishing on my website for around, I think, 3 months, and my Google Discover traffic died. I posted a new article last week, and it got back. So
that's nice.
Kind of.
Okay, let's go into that a little bit more because I'm curious. How can I get into Google Discover? What made you get into Google Discover? Like, is there something that you discovered yourself?
To be honest, I wasn't really doing anything special other than publishing on a very regular basis, making sure there are a lot of images, making sure the titles are optimized, just basic SEO stuff like taking care of internal links, everything that's within my knowledge. I applied that to my website, and it kind of naturally got into Google Discover. I wasn't really doing anything special, but the moment I stopped, Google Discover traffic stopped. The moment I resumed publishing, it got back. So.
All right,
That's
so I
nice.
think there's something there. It's being consistent, right? Being consistent with all your optimizations and going. I think that's how we can all get in Google Discover. So you were talking about internal links. I mean, that's something that always comes up here, and I also feel that's very, very important. Is there? I mean, I'm just curious, really quickly, because what's your tip on internal links, and how do you do internal linking?
So I always make sure, in the case of my blog, I try to internally link from one article to other articles that are thematically related, using the anchor text that makes sense, that is related to what I want those articles to rank for. So in the case of my site, there are no read more, click here links. So I made sure that all the links are really the links that have text links that have the right keywords in the tag in the anchor. So that's, I think, quite important, very important.
Love it, guys. Remember that. Stop doing the read more. Stop doing the click here, and use your actual semantically related keywords when you interlink your pages. Okay, so I want to go. Was there anything else in Google Search Console that we should really be paying attention to?
Maybe let me think. Maybe there is this crawl stats report that is hidden within settings. You have to go to settings, then you can go to crawl stats report. It is, especially if you are dealing with a huge site and you don't do log file analysis, then this is the place you want to visit and simply see how Google, because you can see how Google is crawling your site, whether Google is coming across 404 pages, whether Google had problems. For example, robot.txt was not resolving, or there were DNS issues. You can see it all there in Google Google Search Console crawl stats report.
Love it. Okay, I think there's one thing I want to touch upon real quick in Google Search Console is like indexing, like in the index pages and stuff like that. I know there's some big conversations around always indexing, getting your pages indexed. I mean, do you have any tips on like indexing your pages? I mean, is it simply just going in, making sure you submit your sitemap? Is there any other things that we should be paying attention to there?
So I would say in the case of small sites, which are small, I mean a couple of 100 pages, maybe a couple of 1,000 pages, which are relatively nicely interlinked internally, there shouldn't be problems with that. But if there are, it's always a good idea to submit a sitemap. If you have problems getting your contacts indexed, you can try to speed the process up by using the request indexation tool. But if Google doesn't really want to index your site, this may not necessarily help. But I think if you really make sure the internal linking is okay, is well taken care of, then you shouldn't be facing those issues, assuming that your site is high quality, it's not spammy, and it's not duplicate and stuff like that. So One thing I noticed, I was auditing the site like last week, and a lot of those pages of the site, blog posts, weren't indexed, and the reason why is that the blog had a no index tag, and there was this load more feature. There was no indexation. So basically, of course, there was the no index tag, and on the first page we had like 4 or 10 blog posts, and then we have load more. So basically, those blog posts were all invisible to Google. And once I fixed that, they were indexed like, I don't know, the next day, so something like that. So.
Love that, you guys. That's I think a common mistake too that people don't realize is that you got to check your pages is actually markup if it's no index, because sometimes you may mark up like a whole category or something, and then everything under there may not be on there. Also, like the robots.txt file, right? Do you play with any robots.txt file? Do you play with the robots.txt file?
So. For the purposes of my site, it is not necessary really to do anything with that. But if I audit a huge site, I always review what's there. I check if robot.txt is valid, if the sitemap that's submitted there is actually the correct sitemap, if it really works. A common mistake with robot.txt is if you disallow the for example, resources like CSS or images which are necessary for Google to correctly render your site and access content. So that's something I usually check if this issue is present.
Love it. That's actually a great tip there. Because I mean, if the CSS stuff is not there, does that like make the site look funny because it's not pulling? You know, if you're blocking the index CSS file, then it's just not loading the site correctly. Is that what's going to happen?
Not necessarily for the user. For the user, the site will probably look okay, but for the Google bot, the rendering may not go okay, and some parts of content may not be visible to Google, and then may not be indexed, and it may impact the rankings. So.
Love it. Okay, let's go into the audience real quick. We have a few questions. Well, we actually didn't have any questions. We have Atik saying, loving the show. We have Noor here saying, hey, Dre and Olga. Hello, everyone. You guys, if you guys have any questions, be sure to put it in the live chat, and I'll address them in the order that they are received. But, you know, I'm going to keep rolling here because we have Olga on, and she's the expert into a lot of the stuff that we want to talk about here. One of the other things that we want to talk about is image SEO, because I think you've talked about this on other podcasts, but for the audience here, I mean, what are your tips on making sure we get traffic and getting our images ranked? Because I know that you shared some tips everywhere, some places, but let's share it here with the audience. I'm curious.
Okay, so I would start, maybe this is a different tip, but one thing you can do in GSC, you can filter the traffic in the performance report so that you only see the clicks to your images. So this is this way you can see if you are really getting any clicks through Google image search. This may be an important piece of information for you depending on the type of website you have. But this is more about measuring whether you're really there. But when it comes to how to get your images indexed and how to make them perform for you better in terms of SEO, I would recommend standard things. I always check in every audit. So making sure the image really corresponds to what the article or the section of the article is about. I would always recommend, if possible, using your own images or using your own screenshots. So I'm using my own screenshots in basically all of my tutorials, and they really are visible for a lot of queries. I'm really getting traffic through image search. While if you are using stock photos, the chances are they won't rank at all. Maybe they will only be some addition for your user, so the page will not look that empty because there is some image. But I always recommend using your own images. And once you do that, make sure to use the file name that ideally contains the keyword or at least the topic that this image presents. Of course, alt text. You can also use captions. You can also, for example, if an image is a link, then you should always remember about the alt text, because then it works like anchor text in a text image, in a text link, for example. So in that case, always make sure to use alt text.
Oh, there's your friend.
Oh, that's my.
What's his name again? What's his name again?
Gerard.
There's T. Gerald. Oh, there he is. It's a boy.
Yes, it's a boy.
Love it. We woke him up, guys. We woke him up. All right. So
yes.
So that's some great. Let me drop a knowledge bomb for that real quick for all those image SEO tips. But I'm curious because you said stock images. How about if I get some stock images and I put it in Photoshop and like add some designs to it? And what do you think about that?
That's for sure better than putting just a stock image. Sometimes even with the data that's contained with that image, sometimes people just download the image and upload it on the site without doing anything. If you do that, then I think it's definitely in the right direction. And one more tip about how you embed images. So if you want your images to rank, you should embed them like using EMG tag or pictures within pictures, because if you use CSS and you add the image as background, then it's 100% that Google will treat it as part of layout and won't even index those images. So definitely make sure to embed them in the SEO friendly way.
Love it. Okay, we already got some questions coming in here. I want to bring up Atix here. What's inside SEOSLY Pro?
Okay, so this is like the extension, a huge extension of my technical SEO audit checklist, which I think currently has more than 200 steps. I think in SEOSLY Pro this outline is even bigger. It's close to 400, and the difference is that in SEOSLY Pro there is a video to each of those steps.
Got it.
So far, I have recorded 60 videos, and I'm creating more. So once I'm done with all of that, there should be 400 videos or even more.
Wow, that's gonna be some awesome stuff. I can't wait to even check that out. But here, you're gonna give us some stuff here, right? I mean, so we got more questions coming in. We have Stefan here ask, hi Olga, what tools do you use for website audits other than Google Analytics and Google Search Console?
So I always crawl the site with at least 2 crawlers, ideally 3. So I like to, for example, of course, I start with GSC. I do the manual review, and then I plug the site into Screaming Frog, into Sitebulb. I make sure to render JavaScript on both of them. I make sure to configure those crawlers in the way that I need them to be configured to check the things I want to check, because it depends on the type of site I'm auditing. I also plug the site into Ahrefs. If I have access to GSC, it can be Ahrefs Webmaster Tools, which I really like that tool, by the way. So once I have data from 3 crawlers, I can really make a lot of sense of what's going on with the site, what I can recommend, and so on. So that would be my goal.
Love it. Okay, we have Lucas. Lucas asked a question here. He asked us, if you were to choose only one paid SEO audit tool, what would it be?
That's a tough question. I am hesitating between Screaming Frog and Sitebulb, and it's really a tough choice.
Nice. Can you maybe give us maybe the top benefits, 3 benefits, strong points for Screaming Frog, and maybe the 3 strong points for SEO Sitebulb?
Sure. So Screaming Frog is more technical. Screaming Frog is more, I would say, overwhelming. If you are new to SEO, if you run a Screaming Frog audit, and if you, for example, visualize your site structure, there is such a feature, you may feel a bit overwhelmed by what you see. Sidebulb, on the other hand, has a lot of explanations. It gives you there is a link to every issue it has, the link to their documentation, and there are a lot of explanation about what this issue means, when this issue is actually an issue, when it isn't. So I would say if you are learning SEO, learning how to do technical SEO audits, I would go with Sidebulb, Sidebulb. And if you really want the raw data, the technical stuff, you should go with Screaming Frog.
Love it, love it. So you got the beginner and advanced, so more of that, what level you are as in technical SEO or budding SEO. That's some great information there. So we have a question here from Nico asking like, hey, have you used EXF data on your images?
To be honest, I don't, but I always recommend that people remove it if they use some images that, for example, if they use, for example, a stock image. So definitely you want to remove that data there.
Got it.
But if you,
if you tick it yourself, you would keep that there, or?
I think it depends, because in the case of my site, these are mostly screenshots, so they are edited. But if this is a photography site and I'm taking photos with my phone showing specific places, then I think I would keep that. Unless these are the photos from my phone and maybe I don't want to share exact data.
Love it. Yeah, if they know your location, you're taking all your pictures from your place, like they might be able to find out where you live, right? Yes. All right. Okay, so we want to let's get into some of what you specialize in the most. I mean, this is something that we're talking about we've been talking about all the whole time here is on technical SEO. And you have a huge checklist. You said you're going to have over 400 videos later on. Is that
yes.
400 videos? I mean, of those 400 videos, or those 400 different checklist marks, what are some? Let's talk about some of the first things that you do, right? Because what's the first? You said one of the first thing you do is Google Search Console, but what's the other thing? Because let's go starting from the top. When someone comes to you for a technical site audit.
So the first thing is, assuming that they are already want to hire me to do a technical SEO audit. The first step is doing a very slow manual review of the site. Actually going, browsing through the site, seeing, watching how the menu drops down, opening the site on my phone, using the site as if I were a user, and surprisingly, a lot of things I am able to spot a lot of things at that very early phase, even before I log into Google Search Console. Sometimes I immediately see, these 10 things need to be fixed ASP.
So do you have like a template that you just have you write these notes in so you can go down like your manual audits?
For manual audits, I have like one cell in spreadsheet where I put those comments, but I have my own template for like the entire technical SEO audit, and this is like a very huge spreadsheet document with I think with now 200 rows.
Is this document available for anyone?
It is available in the form of this guide. There is this guide on my site, Technical SEO Audit, and there I list all of those steps one by one.
Love it. Okay, we'll send a link to that later. But let's keep on going. Come on, let's. What are some other things that we should make sure we pay attention to on this checklist?
Okay, so I would always. So, for example, if you're using an automated tool, I would always make sure that I rely on my own SEO checklist, my own guidance, the things I know I want to check for that site, instead of just interpreting what the tool is telling me. So the tool may be telling me that this is an error, you have to fix that. And then I know that, for example, this is not an error. Like even in GSC, you have errors in the coverage report, but these are not actually errors. These are just this is just the information for you that there are pages which are not indexable, and maybe they are not indexable because you want them not to be indexable. So this is this is my advice here, to follow your own SEO plan, not necessarily interpret the tools.
Got it. So with drop you a bomb for that one, but I want to make sure, like, so, like, say, let's say, how does your like when your audits, when you give them to your clients, how does they look like? Is it like in a nice presentation? Are you just like going down the checklist and kind of making your comments? Like, so I mean, it get pretty technical, right? So like, how are you like explaining this to your clients?
So I have this one master Google Sheet document, and the audit is in most cases is formatted in the form of questions. And does this site, for example, does this site have this issue? For example, does no index tag is the no index tag placed incorrectly here, or is it used the way it should be used, or is it stuff like that? And I answer yes, no, or there is an issue, there isn't an issue. And of course, next to that, I assign priority, whether this is a medium, low, or high. And there is my explanation and my recommendation, which is always adjusted to the specific example, to the specific site. It is not like a general recommendation. I recommend fixing images on your site or optimizing images on your site. I always make sure to provide very, very specific recommendations. Like, this image weighs 5 megabytes and slows your site by this, so I suggest converting it to WebP, for example, and compressing it and changing its dimensions to that, using that tool.
Love it, love it. Okay, so when you give recommendations, do you have clients like asking you to do it for them, or is that something you do? Do you actually will go and take the action plan, or is it something that you kind of just put together this package and say, here, this is everything that's wrong?
That really depends on the client. Some clients just want the report, and they will give it to their developers, and they don't want to even discuss the audit with me anymore. Some clients want me to present the audit to them so that they better understand it. Other clients want me to do both the audit and the implementation of the fixes, and I do that. But I am the most fluent, and I feel the most knowledgeable in WordPress. So I mostly do those implementation within WordPress, because this is the platform I've been using for 10 years or more. So.
Love it. Okay. Like, so when you how long does this usually a site audit takes? I mean, is there something like you at least spend? Because I mean, you said like there's over 200. There's going to be 400 points to it. Like, how long does your SEO technical audit last, or like when you get a client?
It really, again, depends on the size of and complexity of the website, but it can take me anywhere from 10-15 hours to even 40. Or I even created audits that took me 60 hours for very, very huge e-commerce sites. Like, it was like 3 weeks of work.
3
and
weeks?
The document was very huge. Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. So, I mean, I want to know, so if someone wants to get into the technical SEO portion of the business, and I mean, how much can someone make doing this? I mean, I'm curious, like, let's say, like, when you said you have small ones to like to the big one, what's the kind of range of that people can make doing technical audits?
That's really, that's a good question, because I get a lot of quotes, but I only do the audits that I know that I'm really able to provide the right recommendations here. I know this kind of platform, or I know I can implement those fixes. So I would say for a small audit, for a small site, you can get anywhere from 2 to 3K dollars. For a very huge one, you can get 5. You can get 5, 7, 8, depending on also whether you implement the fixes or you don't.
Yeah, That's some money over there. I love that. Because I actually never really kind of focused just solely on that. So I wasn't sure how much people are charging on a certain cost, but that's great to know. So if you guys want to focus on the technical portion of SEO, you can make some great money there. Okay, so I want to let's go back. Let's go back to before we're coming close to time too. So I want to go back maybe a couple more things that we should pay attention to on your checklist. Let us know. And for you guys in the audience, don't forget to ask your questions before we let Olga go. But let's give us 2 more things that we should make sure we pay attention to when we're actually starting our technical audit.
So I would still recommend always checking, always making sure you render JavaScript. I know I touched upon this, but there is this app called RenderTron. If you don't have resources on your computer to render JavaScript, for example, because the site has 1 million pages, you can at least run a few pages there using RenderTron and see whether the content is really visible there. Or you can use Google Search Console as well. You can just plug in your site in the URL inspection tool. Mm-hmm. You can use the live test, at least see what Google is seeing and make sure Google is seeing what you want Google to see on your site. So this is, I think, something that's often overlooked.
Oh, I love that. So it's called RenderTron?
RenderTron, yes, that's
love
correct.
It. So I'm curious. Okay, this is actually something that interests me too, because so when you're looking at JavaScript, what are you actually looking at? So it's loading certain things. Like what are we looking for when we're rendering the JavaScript?
So basically, what I do is I render JavaScript, for example, in Screaming Frog. In Screaming Frog and in Sidebulb, there is this feature to render and to compare. And I want to make sure that the source HTML code and the rendered code is the same. That, for example, links, navigation links, or some important pieces of content are visible in both versions. And this is my mom saying. Oh, so hi, my mom.
Oh yes, is it Moja Misminalia Korka? Did I say that correctly?
So she says that my daughter, my lovely daughter.
Hey, hi, Mom. Love it. Welcome. Thank you for watching. I totally appreciate that. Okay. Before I let you go, let's give you one more last tip before we let you go here. So let's go ahead and actually have one more last question after this one last tip.
Sure. So my tip would be to always, before you dive very deep in your audits and spend 60 hours on that, start with looking for quick wins. Sometimes you can find a lot of quick wins, like even with removing those read more links. Sometimes it's just enough to remove read more links and make sure the titles on the blog are the actual links, and this can help you tremendously. Or, for example, look for pages because whenever I do a technical audit, I also check the visibility of the site in Ahrefs, whether some pages are, for example, stuck on the second page of Google. Sometimes it's just enough to do some simple recommendation on improving titles and internal linking, and the site will go up and from page 2 to page 1. So quick wins should be part of every audit, even if it is purely technical SEO audit.
Excellent!
Love it. Okay, this is the last question I ask all my SEO professionals that come on the show. It's like, okay, if someone wants to get into the SEO game, become an SEO professional, what would be your advice for them?
So my advice would be to study Google documentation, Google Search Central blog, the SEO documentation. It is very in-depth in some places, especially advanced documentation, but I really think everyone should go through it a couple of times. And make sure to set your own website or a bunch of websites. Create a website completely from scratch. Break it, do whatever you want to do with it, but you won't learn SEO, practical side of SEO, if you don't do that. So that's my advice here.
Love it. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so I want to again thank you so much for coming on the show. Everyone give her a round of applause. Okay, so I want to, if you can, hold on just one quick second before
sure.
I sign off. I love it. Okay. All right, guys, that concludes another episode of the SEO Video Show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And don't forget to visit our sponsor and make sure you let me know how many times this logo showed up. I've been keeping track of how many times this logo showed up. And when you send me an email of your guess, dre@seo.video. And if you win, I will send you a box of goodies from hrefs.com. Okay, till next time, I'll see you next week. Peace out.
Thank you for watching. Hope you come back next week. Make sure to subscribe. You don't want to miss a thing. Hope you learn something new, cause the vibe is incredible. From the special SEO professionals, SEO video show. Let's work. Want to see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre DeVera helping you step it up. No delay right now. Time to level up. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Woo!